You mentioned earlier you were talking about the physical, or I guess the processes that occur when you're boiling water. And then you sort of suggested that there's some other level of analysis that occurs such that I'm making tea. And that's some sort of, I guess, outside of science, or that's some sort of different level of analysis. And I guess one of my questions is I'd like you to clarify that because I was unclear about it.
You only get one question. That's your question?
No, I mean, it's all the same
Better
question.
ask it.
Okay, so, but there's statistical observable arguments I can make about how likely you are to be engaging in some behavior or another. I mean, I could take a survey, I could say the probability that you are going to make tea is X. And that seems to me that can be scientific because of your past behavior. So what was the claim you were trying to make there?
So it undercuts the analogy.
Yeah. The claim I was trying to make was that there are two explanations. There's a descriptive and a purposeful explanation. Now notice that when science investigates purposeful explanations, it smuggles in the purposeful assumption. For example, how do you know that people are going to make tea? You have to ask them, right? And then you correlate their own description. I'm trying to make tea with the action of putting the pot on the stove. So the purposeful part of it cannot be investigated scientifically. In other words, it can't be reproduced, it can't be put into a microscope, it can't be observed. All you can see is the whirring of neurons in my brain, and no movement of neurons can be correlated with my desire to have tea. So in other words, all you can do is take my own self-description of what I'm doing and match it up against my two legs moving in that direction and placing the pot on the stove. So I'm saying that the descriptive element, the scientific element, is complemented to give a full account by a purposeful element that only comes out of my own private intentions and is by itself not able to be investigated by science.
Thank you, Dinesh. Next question, please.
Hi, I was curious for this side of the debate, D'Souza and Hutchinson. Would either of you say that it's productive to have a debate in which the goal is to decide whether well, religion, if it's refutable with science, and religion is defined as something that is unaffected by science and is unmeasurable by science, is that a productive thing to even discuss, if it's defined as purely not that?
Do you believe this debate is productive?
Well, I mean...
Well, you want to answer?
Yeah,
No, you go for it.
He's too polite.
Religion makes certain claims that are clearly in the domain of the factually verifiable. So, for example, the idea that Jesus Christ was an historical person, that he became a rebel leader, was very unpopular, was crucified, these are empirical claims. Even the idea that Jesus' body disappeared from the tomb is an historical claim that can be verified by historical types of evidence. The atheist and skeptic Bart Ehrman, in a recent book on the historicity of Jesus, investigates this claim, and he goes, I'm an atheist, but I concede that the historical argument for Jesus is valid. Jesus was an historical person, and all the atheist websites that say the contrary are bunk.
Right, and science doesn't have a monopoly on all the facts.
Thank you. We move